Hello students, welcome to the physics class on mechanics unit 2, which comes under your paper 1 of your semester 1. I am N. Chandana, assistant professor of physics from Government Degree College, Khairtabad. Let us have a quick recap on the previous topics which we have discussed in unit 2. We have done Newton's laws of motion, and then we have seen system of variable mass. Newton's laws, we have 3 laws: Newton's law of inertia, and second one F is equal to ma, and third one we have done with every reaction has equal and opposite reaction. The system of variable mass, where we have seen that a system in which the mass is continuously varying, that the mass is not constant. Okay, such a variable mass system we have considered, and we have done some theory in that based on that theory which we have assumed, and then finally we have come to a conclusion that m dv by dt equal to F external plus F reaction. So for every action we have an equal and opposite reaction that is observed from this equation, which gives you the momentum mv, and here rate of change of momentum m dv by dt, that is nothing but force. Okay, so we can get this using this system of variable mass. I have got this equation. The rate of change of momentum due to the mass leaving it will be this one. Okay, now let us see the motion of a rocket, which is an example of variable mass system. Okay, now let us go for the variable mass system example, motion of a rocket. So what is the equation of motion of a rocket? Equation of motion of a rocket or motion of a rocket, how do you give the how do you designate the equation for a rocket? Let us see. See, this is an example. Rocket is an example of system of variable mass. It's an example of system of variable mass. Okay. Now the rocket consists of what? A combustion chamber in which liquid or solid fuel is burnt. Okay. So we have a combustion chamber. If I suppose I have in this way. Now the rocket has let me draw a rocket here. So here we have a combustion chamber in which liquid or solid fuel is burned. If I suppose that this is the combustion chamber. Combustion chamber. Okay. Here what happens? The solid or liquid fuel or liquid fuel which you take to run the rocket, to move the rocket. Okay. So this fuel is burnt in this chamber, this combustion chamber. Okay, for example, if you take a fuel like fuel means liquid fuel means we consider it as either a liquid hydrogen, they use liquid hydrogen, or a liquid paraffin. Liquid paraffin. So when coming to liquid fuels, there are examples in what they use in rockets to run the rocket: liquid hydrogen or liquid paraffin. And for them, the suitable oxidizer should be there. What is the oxidizer they use? As a real, like oxygen or nitric acid. Okay, or nitric acid. In order to burn this liquid hydrogen or paraffin, which is the fuel, like you have petrol for your vehicle. In the same way, here fuel is there. What is the fuel? Liquid hydrogen or paraffin. In order to burn the fuel so that the energy gets released, and the because of the thrust of the expelled gases coming out of this bottom, the rocket moves with the thrust which is created because of this expelled gases in the upward direction. Here these are in the downward direction, right? So this oxidizer is either oxygen or nitrogen is used here. Okay, in rockets. Now if I suppose that that is the solid fuel. Okay, if I suppose that that is a solid fuel. Now, if I consider it is a liquid fuel like liquid hydrogen and paraffin, we have oxidizers like oxygen or nitric acid. Similarly, if I have a solid fuel, so solid fuel means what? Example, gunpowder. Okay, gunpowder, it is a perfect example for solid fuel. So for solid fuel, there is no need of any oxidizing agent. Directly, when it enters into the combustion chamber, it directly undergoes, it directly gets ignited, like directly gets reacted. Okay, but when the fuel is liquid, like liquid hydrogen or paraffin, it has to be oxidized. It has to be burned by using either oxygen or nitric acid in the combustion chamber. This oxidizer will make this fuel to burn. Okay, ignite. Then what happens? When the fuel is burnt, then what happens? The pressure inside the chamber rises very high here. The pressure in this chamber rises very much high. So the fuel is here. This enters into this combustion chamber. Here the fuel gets burnt. Now the pressure in this chamber gets really high. So what happens now? The high pressure, because of this high pressure, very much high temperature gases or hot gases. Hot gases are expelled out. They come out. Okay, they are exerted. They are exerted or they are expelled out of. They come out of the bottom of this rocket. That is this bottom area. That is called as tail of the rocket. Tail of the rocket. Okay. Now these gases, when they come out of the rocket with high velocities and with high temperatures out of this rocket from the bottom, then what happens? They comes with high velocities, no? So the rocket immediately rushes in upward directions. Immediately it rushes. It directly moves upward because it is in the opposite direction of downward. Because downward we are getting these gases. So in upward direction, opposite direction, immediately the rocket rushes. Okay. Now this gives you the motion of the rocket. Right? This gives you the motion of the motion. Rocket is in motion. Till now it is in stationary. Once the gases are coming out of this bottom of the surface of the rocket with high velocities, because of this action, the reaction is shown by the rocket in opposite direction. That is, it moves upward in upward direction. Okay, with high velocity. So this is the reaction caused by rocket. So this is based on which law? Newton's third law. That is, every action has equal and opposite reaction. Okay, right? Let me give you the theory, like the equations which relate this rocket law of motion. Okay. Now let us consider a rocket. Now the frame which they are taking is this XY frame, shell frame. Now this is in this way we are showing horizontally. But now till now I have drawn for you vertically, but in textbook it is there in horizontal. So you learn this diagram. It's better you learn this. It's okay if you draw the other one also, no worries. But as in textbook, how they did, I am doing the same way for you. Okay, so the rocket is moving with velocity v bar of thrust. I told you thrust, because of thrust it moves. So v relative velocity will be there into dm by dt. This is the thrust. F is equal to v relative into dm by dt. Now these expelled gases are there, no? They are coming out from this tail. They are moving here with this with velocity u bar. Okay, u bar. Okay. Now if I consider this step, let m be the mass of the rocket. Okay, let m be the mass of the rocket, including fuel I am taking, including liquid paraffin or liquid nitrogen. Okay, or else our gunpowder, any liquid, any type of fuel I take. The mass of the rocket along with the mass of the fuel. Okay, at any instant in this laboratory of frame of reference is m. In this frame of reference is m. Okay. After a time interval dt, what is happening? Dm mass of gases here. dm mass of gases are expelling out. Okay, if they are traveling with velocity u bar. Okay, now the velocity of the gas jet in the laboratory frame will be what? The relative velocity, right? V is equal to v minus u. You understood why v minus u? Because the rocket is moving with velocity v in the forward direction, while we have the expelled gases moving in the opposite direction with velocity u bar, right? So the relative velocity of this rocket with respect to the frame is v minus u, because they are in opposite direction, v minus u. Now the rate of change of momentum, let us calculate the rate of change of momentum, because rate of change of momentum is nothing but force. So from that we can calculate the thrust. Okay. Now the rate of change of momentum of jet, okay, out of the rocket, or force acting on the jet we can write. I'll write force acting on the rocket. Force acting on the jet. What is that? I can write jet or rocket. What can I write it as? Rate of change of mass due to escape of gases, because there is a change in mass dm, like m. There is a change in mass, right? Variable mass because of this time tt, right? dm. That is the reason I'll write rate in change of mass, rate of change of mass into relative velocity of the rocket, v minus u. Okay. So from Newton's third law, what happens? This should be equal to thrust, because with how much velocity the gases are expelling out, with same velocity or with the same force, the rocket will move upward, right? In the opposite direction. Here forward and backward in this diagram. So this can be equal to thrust acting on the rocket. Thrust. Okay, this is the thrust acting on the rocket to move in the forward direction. Now you imagine the diagram in this way, as I have drawn before here, but here he is drawing this way. Here, if I take the frame in this way, I have my rocket in this fashion, right? Now what is happening? Since the gases are expelling in downward direction, my rocket will be moving in the upward direction. Okay, with velocity v bar. Now v relative will be v minus u. Okay, all of you. This is u with which the gases are coming out. Okay, so now the thrust is, we know the thrust. Okay, now let Fext be the external force acting on the rocket. Now F external will be what? mg. What is this? Weight of the rocket. mg, mass into acceleration due to gravity. Mass of the rocket into acceleration into gravity is the weight of the rocket. Now what is the force acting in the forward direction? Or here upward direction, here forward direction. What is that? dm by dt into v minus u minus mg, because of acceleration due to gravity, it tries to pull the rocket downward, right? So minus mg. Okay, students. So that is the reason we write here minus mg. Okay, so far it is clear, no? I have taken mb is the initial mass of the rocket moving with velocity v bar. Because of the mass of the gases coming out of these things, what is the expelled gases velocity u bar, and mass of the gas coming out dm at a time dt. After time dt, dm and u. So v relative velocity of the rocket will be v minus u. Okay. Now the force acting on the jet will be dm by dt into v minus u. dm by dt into v minus u. Okay. Now, because of acceleration due to gravity of Earth, what happens? The rocket will be tending toward downward because of the weight. Okay. The force acts downward. What is that? mg. So that is the reason I have written minus mg. So till here we are okay. This is the, if I take this is the first equation. So let me take few more equations. Now we know that from Newton's second law, what does you know? F is equal to dp by dt, where p is linear momentum. P is linear momentum. F is equal to, what is that? Right here, dp by dt, or F is equal to ma. Okay, students. So F is equal to ma, that is equal to m dp dv by dt. Okay, m dv by dt. Or when velocity is changing, here mass is also changing. Hence, what do I write? D by dt of mv. D by dt of mv. Okay, students. Now this is f. Here this is also f. So from equations 1 and 2, what do I write? D by dt of mv bar is equal to dm by dt into v minus u minus m into g. Okay. So what do I get now? M dv by dt plus v dm by dt is equal to v dm by dt minus u dm by dt minus mg, right? Okay. So v dm by dt gets cancelled. So what do I remain with? M dv by dt equal to minus mg minus u dm by dt. Okay. Now, if I divide, what happens if I divide with m on both sides? Okay, let me have m so that this m gets cancelled, but I'll get here m. Okay. Finally, I'll write one equation here for you. Just I substituted Newton's second law and I have obtained this equation. I'm going to calculate the thrust now. So what happens now? So dv by dt is equal to minus g dt. Sorry, here I didn't write dt. G dt minus u by m dm by dt minus u by m dm by dt. Okay. Now I integrate on all the sides. So what do I remain with? Sorry, here g only. Now after multiplying, I'll get it. Okay, I have written mistake. dv is equal to minus g dt minus u by m into dm. Okay, this one I'll get. This is dv, rate of change of, sorry, the velocity, change in the velocity with respect to the mass of the gases expelling out of the rocket. Okay, now we can get v by integrating on both sides, right? Integral dv from v naught to v equal to minus u integral m naught to m dm by m. Okay, minus g integral 0 to t dt. Okay, students. So integral 0 to t. If I take the initial conditions, like initial mass of the rocket is m naught, initial velocity of the rocket is v naught. After time, the final conditions are v, m, and t. After time t, then what happens? Now I integrate on both sides. V from v naught to v equal to minus u. What is dm by m? Integral 1 by m is log m from m naught to m minus g 0 to t dt t from 0 to t. Okay, it's a definite integral, so there is no constant here. What I'll get? V minus v naught equal to minus u log m minus log m naught, okay, minus gt. Okay, so what is log m, log a minus log b, log a by b? So log of m by m naught minus gt. Okay, equal to v minus v naught. Okay, so finally I'll get, what do I get now? Let me remind with the other equations. I integrated on both sides from limits from initial state to final state of the system of the rocket. So I got this what did I get? V minus V naught is equal to, so V is equal to V naught. This is minus U, right? I'll write this one again. Minus log M by M naught minus GT. I want to make this plus. How do I make this? V naught plus U log M naught by M. Log A by B is equal to minus log B by A. So this is the final equation of rocket, and this is the final velocity of the rocket. Okay, of initial mass M naught, and after time t, the mass of the rocket is M. Now, if I consider that there is no gravity, okay, the force of gravity is simply ignored. Force of gravity G is ignored. So what happens? This term will be cancelled, and I'll get only V is equal to V naught plus U log M naught by M. Okay, so the final velocity of the rocket is V is equal to V naught plus U log of M naught by M. Okay, further, if I suppose that if the initial velocity of the rocket is 0, so I'll get V is equal to U log M naught by M. U log M naught by M. Okay, so this is the way we derive the equation of the motion of rocket, or the final velocity of the rocket. Okay, now I have a multi-stage rocket. What did we do here? I'll just revise for you. So what did I take first? We took that the thrust acting on the rocket, right? Thrust acting on the rocket, or the force acting on the jet, will be d by m by dt into v minus u. This one you have to understand first. Okay, then what did I do? Because I'll consider that there is a gravitational force, that is F is equal to mg. Because of the gravitational Earth's gravitation, we have the force which is making the rocket to pull, which is pulling the rocket downward, okay, in the opposite direction in which the rocket is moving. So that should be equal to what, according to Newton's second law, d by dt of m into mass into velocity of the rocket. So I have equated them and I got one equation. Then what did I do? I have integrated that equation between limits v naught to v, from limits m naught to m, and from limits t naught to t, or 0 to t. So from these conditions, I have got this equation. Okay, this equation. Now, what is log m by m naught is equal to minus log m naught by m. Simply, I have substituted that and I obtained finally, when g is equal to 0, what is the equation? When v naught is equal to 0, what is the equation? Okay, this is the equation of motion of a rocket. Okay, now let us see the multi-stage rocket. Multi-stage rocket. Okay, so what is multi-stage rocket? You understand the name itself, multi-stage. So many stages are there in the rocket. Okay, you know, the rocket depends upon the principle of the jet expelled gases, the jet propulsion. Okay, but that is entirely depend on law of conservation of momentum. Law of conservation of momentum. Right, that is the thing, no? Like mass into velocity. How much mass is expelled out with how much velocity? Then this, with the same velocity, the rocket tries to move upward. Okay, upward thrust. So that is the main principle regarding the jet propulsion or rocket propulsion. Okay. Now, according to this law, what happens? The jet emerging in the backward direction makes the rocket to move in the forward direction. Okay, coming over will makes the rocket move in the forward direction. Now, the velocity attained by the rocket is approximately 4 km per second. 4 km per second. Okay, this is the very much small velocity of the rocket because of first stage. Like only I have one stage. Okay, stage. Now, if I take the other stage to obtain higher velocities, what we use? We use multi-stage rockets. Okay, here we use in first stage a very heavy first stage will be very heavy for the rocket. Okay, so take a rocket. The first stage will be very heavy. This one. Okay, 2, 3. Because of this first stage, heavy, very robust and heavy. Second stage is comparatively smaller than the first. This is lesser weight than that of this first stage. And the third, when you come to the third stage, it is very much lighter. Lighter. This is smaller. This is very heavy. Okay. Now, when the fuel of the first stage comes out, come into the combustion chamber and burns out and comes out as an expelled as in the form of gases, expelled in the form of gases here. Now, what happens? Now, the rocket and also it detaches itself from this rocket. It detaches itself from this rocket. Then the velocity with which this is traveling is with these gases, right? Now, what happens? My rocket will be only two-stage rocket. Two-stage rocket. First stage rocket is expelled out. Okay. Now, now what happens? The second stage will get ignited. Now this combustion chamber will ignite this fuel, second stage fuel, and now the first stage expelled gases velocity will be the initial velocity of the second stage, right? Will be the initial velocity of the second stage. So obviously, when the second stage gases expels out, then what happens? The rocket attains more velocity than that of in second stage. So now the rocket moves with more velocity when the second stage will burn out. Now I'll remain only with one stage. Okay, third stage. Now here what happens? Here second stage fuel will get burned out, and with higher velocity now the third stage will be moving upward. Okay, now this will be of more higher velocity than that of second and first stages. Okay, now then the fuel of second stage is exhausted, it is detached, it is also detached, and finally we got third stage. This velocity acquired when the rocket is less than 11.2 kilometer per second. If you remember in your second year intermediate you have studied this. This is nothing but this is escape velocity. This is nothing but escape velocity. Okay. Now after this second stage, when we get in some velocity with which the third stage rocket will be moving forward in the upward direction. Okay. So this is called multi-stage rocket. In order to increase the velocity of the rocket, we use this multi-stage rocket. Okay. Multiple stages we have, so that we, in order to increase the velocity of the rocket to travel much distance and to into the space, you want to place your satellite at a particular orbit. So we need some pointed velocity, right? This velocity can be achieved by this multi-stage rockets. Okay. Now let us go for summary. So today we have learned what is motion of a rocket and the equation of motion of a rocket, and we explained how does a multi-stage rocket works. Okay, we have seen in the previous class Newton's laws of motion and system of variable mass. So system of variable mass example is the motion of a rocket and multi-stage rocket. In exam they ask you give an example for the system of variable mass and derive the equation of motion of that example. What is that? It is motion of a rocket. Equation of motion of a rocket, or the final velocity of the rocket, or the system of variable mass example is motion of the rocket. And when it comes to multi-stage rocket, we have multiple stages in order to achieve the higher velocities for the rocket. So we have this multi-stage rocket. Okay, so based on Newton's laws, let us do a problem. Okay, on thrust. Okay, let us do a problem on thrust here. See, a rocket burns 0.02 kg of fuel. Rocket burns 0.02 kg of fuel. It's liquid fuel. per second. Fuel per second. Ejecting a gas with a velocity of, see how much velocity it is. It is 10,000 meter per second. Okay. Now, what force does the gas exert on the rocket? What force does the gas exert on the rocket? Okay. Now, what is the force exerted by the gases on the rocket? That means nothing but reaction, right? Reaction with which the rocket is moving upward. Nothing but U into dm by dt. Okay. U into dm by dt. Okay. Now, gaseous velocity here I have taken as v, but in your theory we have learned it as u. Okay, you can write it as u or v, anything is okay. It is our assumption. So u into dm by dt. So what is u? We know now 10,000 meter per second u. And what is dm by dt? Equal to 0.02 kg, right? Of fuel per second. You remember this. That is the variation of mass with time. Okay. Now, what is F reaction? Will be obviously 10,000 into 0.02. So finally, I'll get 200. Okay. Finally, I'll get 200. Okay. Newtons. 200 newtons. Okay. So this is the thrust acting on the rocket because of the gases exerted out of the rocket. Okay, students. So one more problem shall we do? Given, if they give you the body, like I'll give you a problem. So in your next class, I'll give you a problem. Then let us see only one class, especially for all the problems. Let us go for a class with entirely having all the problems. Okay. So thank you, students. Thank you so much for your patient listening. Thank you.